Hello, viewers. I'm Simon Preston, and this is Reggae Boyz commentary. And as you can see by the title of this video, Peru has defeated Jamaica by 3 goals to 1 in Peru. So La Barranquilla, or Los Incas, or as they're more commonly called, has defeated Reggae Boyz 3-1. This is the third time that both teams are playing against each other. They first met in 2006. Carl Brown was the head coach of Jamaica. That was, in fact, the last game that he has coached Jamaica. That was at the National Stadium. Jamaica drew 1-1, where Jermaine Hugh scored a penalty on that occasion to help us get the equalizer. 4 years later, in 2010, we played against Peru. We lost 2-1, and Omar Cummings scored a brilliant goal for us on that occasion. Unfortunately, Demar Phillips scored an own goal for us. That was in Lockhart Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. And now, 7 years later, in 2017, we have lost 3-1 to them, and that encounter was in Peru. So before I give my actual review of the game, just wanted to wrap up the goal scorers and everything like that. So on Peru's side of things, the first goal came in the 21st minute, and this came through their key player, you could say, Edison Flores. This is the player that scored the first goal for Peru, the 23-year-old winger who can also operate as an attacking midfielder. Quite short individual at 5 feet 7 inches tall. So he scored his 6th goal in international football in his 18th appearance. His second goal against a Caribbean team he scored against Trinidad and Tobago back in 2016. So this is his 6th goal. And he has a bit of pedigree as well, as in 2011 he was the under-20 Copa Libertadores best player. So a player of a good caliber scored against Jamaica. And that goal was, you could say, a lapse in concentration from the Jamaican defense, and he had a one-on-one opportunity with Andre Blake, and he slotted it into the back of the net on that occasion. That is Edison Flores, the 23-year-old. He was even part of Peru's squad for the Copa America Centenario last year. Now, the second goal was scored in the 43rd minute, so just before halftime, the 43rd minute. So that was scored by a player by the name of Renato Tapia. He scored the second goal in the 42nd minute. There was a corner kick. There was an outswinger, and he jumped over Jermaine Taylor and headed the ball into the back of the net. This is a 21-year-old midfielder, 6'1" midfielder. You could call him a midfielder that can also operate as a centre half. He is quite high in the air. He plays for Feyenoord in the Eredivisie. He was scoring his second international goal. His first came back last year in the World Cup qualifiers. So he scored the second goal. Now, in the second half, this is where things got a bit interesting for Jamaica. The injection of experience with the likes of Jermaine Teddy Johnson and Owain Gordon gave Jamaicans a bit of life and a creative spark and presence, and really put the Peruvians on the back foot. And you could see it drove the fear of God into them. And the Jamaicans had a better second half, you could say. But before Jamaica got on the score sheet, Peru got their third and final goal of this encounter. And that was in the 59th minute, as it came through Paulo Guerrero on this occasion. Paulo Guerrero, he scored this goal for Peru, and he is you could say, the key talisman of this team, the danger man. 33-year-old, and this is his 32nd goal in international football in 80 caps. And this player has accomplished so much. A former Bayern Munich player, former Hamburger, Corinthians. Now he plays with Flamengo in Brazil, but certainly a player that has done so much for his country. Bronze medalist in the Copa America in 2011 and 2015 as well. So he's really been key. And finally, Teddy Johnson scored for Jamaica in, you could say, with just a few minutes to go. I recorded the goal. Let me see if I could play it. 1 second. Let me see if I can find a goal. I have a video of it, so let me see if I can play it to you all. Do give me a second about that. But I think based on the situation that it was a firmly taken goal, although there were some doubts as it relates to the penalty kick. The Jamaicans certainly gave the Peruvians a hard time in the second half. So let's see.
terminando el resumen, la jugada del penal de Loyola, para mí exagerado el árbitro, hay un golpecito, un toque más de fútbol normal.
So that's Owen Gordon.
Jamaica para simplemente mejorar el resultado y terminar con 3-1. Vamos a ampliar un poco las estadísticas que seguramente nos van a explicar un poco cómo mejor.
Yep. So Teddy Johnson scored his 10th goal in international football for Jamaica. It's been a while since we've actually seen him play for Jamaica as well. I have to go back to 2013 on the Winford Schaefer, where he played against the United States in a World Cup qualifier. You could say almost 4 years to the day, because that match encounter was in June, I believe, at the National Stadium. We lost that encounter 2-1. So what are my thoughts about things? I'm not concerned about the result. I mean, yes, I'm not a person that's going to say, oh, whatever. I prefer progress over results when it comes to friendly matches. Of course, winning breeds confidence and momentum going into major tournaments. However, at the same time, this was a final opportunity for Coach Tap Whitmore and Jerome Waite as well to see which players he can have part of his core moving forward, because as we know, the Caribbean Cup is coming up as well as the CONCACAF Gold Cup. So it gave him a final opportunity to see which players he can use moving forward, and some players, well, are not quite ready yet for the international football. So this gives him an idea, because certainly we're going to see some more faces, more experienced heads, I should say, with the Gold Cup and also the Caribbean Cup coming up next week in Martinique. So that's basically my 2 cents on the matter. I'd love to hear your comments as well. So you can drop me a comment to the right-hand side of the page, and I'm going to read it quite shortly. And from there, I'll answer whatever questions you may have. And in addition to that, I will see what else that can be answered. So the next encounter for Jamaica will be against Martinique in the Caribbean Cup, the semi-finals, and of course the winner of this encounter will play in the final against either the host Martinique or Curacao. So OJ 2002 says no. Yeah, no, it's not a good sight to see us lose games. Billy Bob says great game. It's just a practical game. It is a practice game, yes, and it is an opportunity for Coach Schaefer to have a Coach Whitmore, sorry, to have a look at his players. Why did I say Schaefer? Anyways, Coach Whitmore, Coach Theodore Tapper Whitmore, to see who he has moving forward. Rayon Wine says Jamaica has no backline, no middle, no forward. Transition is poor. Their first touch is also. The first half was a disappointing one, you could say, in some aspects. Is for Jamaica, the Peruvians were certainly had the cutting edge in that first half. Tajay Campbell says that should not have been a penalty. I've heard that throughout the course of since the game had finished, but you know, a referee made a decision, and we go with it. You know, sometimes you can have decisions going for you and some decisions going against you. The important thing is that when we got the opportunity, we put the ball in the back of the net. You know, suppose we got the penalty and we missed it. We wouldn't be saying that perhaps that wasn't a penalty. We'd probably be saying, well, why didn't we score it? You know, so one of those things. Ryan Wine says they need rhythm, style, run more harder. Interesting with points there. Andrew Downey, we need the English-based players ASAP. Plus, we need a sensible coach. We need more experienced, high-quality players like Teddy, no matter age. USL players are not good. Our with backs. Our wing backs, I presume you're trying to say, are not good. Too much local players, great second half. Well, you know, Alex, the local players need matches like this against the top teams. Although Peru, you wouldn't say, is an elite South American nation, but they do have pedigree in terms of playing in tournaments like Copa America and the World Cup. But at the same time, there are at least 5 teams better than them in South America right now. Yes, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, Colombia. That's just 5 right there, and there could be a few more that you could put your names in the hat. So for Peru, I would say that it was a good opportunity for the local players. You get yourselves in a different environment, different challenges with the altitude. You arrive just about 48 hours before the game, so it's an experience for players moving forward. So when they get themselves into situations like World Cup qualifiers or anything like that, then they'll know what it's like to be like this. They know what it is like to be in their hotel rooms and have the home fans bang drums by their hotel rooms all night in order to try to distract them and put them under pressure. everything from here on in is a learning experience. Remember before we went to the 1998 World Cup in France, we played a lot of friendlies in 95, 96, and we lost a lot of games, throughout the period of time. We lost to the likes of Zambia, we lost to Sweden, we lost to Norway, we lost to Bolivia, 6-0. We've had some really, really rough results, but that developed character and helped the team to develop and grow. So I'm not concerned about the result. What I am, you could say, not necessarily concerned, but I certainly believe that whatever squad that we are put together, we should be winning the Caribbean Cup. We need to be winning the Caribbean Cup. We need to be doing that 150%. So Dane Kelly needs a call up. Billy Bob says, well, he's been doing well in USL. Alex Reed says, what do you think about the Gold Cup? To be honest, Alex, I do think that we should be at least reaching the semifinals of that competition. Dume Wong, Jamaica not playing the ball, midfield, they're all over the place. It was an interesting midfield. It was with players that haven't really played much together. Grandison, it was Michael Binns as well. It's early days, man. Theodore Tapa Whitmore is in the door for 5 seconds. Give him a chance. Remember, it's an interim contract that he has until after the Gold Cup. So after the Gold Cup, we can make an assessment and say, yes, if we can win the Caribbean Cup and say reach the quarterfinals, semifinals of the Gold Cup, I think that merits keeping his job. I have no problem with Tapa as manager. Well, sorry, head coach, I should say. OJ 2002, you think we can win the Caribbean Cup? Yes, of course I can. We've won it 6 times, and hopefully we can win it the 7th time. We won the Caribbean Cup in 1991, 1998, 2005, 2008, 2010, and 2014. We are the defending champions. Dume Wong says, we need English players in the team too. Well, I must say, Dume Wong, there is a challenge, though. There is a challenge as a result of that because players are on holiday now, the likes of Adrian Mariappa, Michael Hector, etc. And they've had long, arduous seasons, so I'm not sure if we're going to see them in the Caribbean Cup. The Gold Cup, perhaps. GLT says, we need to stop bigging up the 1998 times we've changed. Look at Japan and Wales. Yeah, well, unlike, Wales haven't been to the World Cup in 1958. So, I mean, they've had a good Euros appearance. You could say it's on the same level of, perhaps, we went to the final of the Gold Cup. Wales went to the semifinals of the Euros. Of course, I take your point about the likes of Wales and especially Iceland as well. So, but I am just making a reference in terms of playing matches. And that is the only way you can really develop team chemistry, cohesion, unity, etc. So that's the way we can move moving forward. Limited says, we need Mariappa, McCleary, West Morgan. They are assets, I believe. Percy Don, the team needed some depth, and they are going to continue this overseas-based thing. They need to get them involved in the friendly also to get gel in major competitions. It was Theodore Tupper Whitmore said himself that he wanted to have a look at what the local players had in store. The season had just finished, there are some players that performed well in the local Red Stripe Premier League in Jamaica. Some players from the likes of the Portmore United, etc., Montego Bay, were some star players. Let's see if there's anything else in the comments. I think we need our Joby back and a Morgan and a Mattox and a Teddy there. Well, Teddy is already there, though, and he actually scored. So, happy days. He scored his 10th goal for Jamaica, and he's put himself in a decent company as well. Not a large amount of players have got into double digits in terms of goals for Jamaica. So, I'll say, that was a little feather in his cap. So what's next on the agenda for Jamaica? Well, June 22nd, we're going to play French Guiana in Fort-de-France, Martinique, in the Stade Pierre-Aliquer. On June 25th, Jamaica is going to play either Curacao or Martinique, whether it's a third-place playoff or the final. We're going to play 2 matches in Martinique. And now we go to the Gold Cup, where on July 9th, we're going to play Curacao in San Diego. In July 13th, we're going to play El Salvador in Denver. And on July 16th, we're going to play Mexico in San Antonio. So, what does this mean? It means, and whatever happens after that, of course, as we know, will be the knockout stages of the tournament, the quarterfinal, semifinal, final, etc. And remember as well, on September 2nd, Jamaica will be playing a friendly international against Canada at the BMO Field. Let me just make a small correction there. We're going to play Mexico on the 13th of July. That is in Denver. And the one on the 16th is where we play El Salvador, and that is in San Antonio. So before I go, let's see if there's anything final in the comments. Jakul McKenzie, the quality of our local players are very poor. I tend to disagree. I just think that they need some more international experience. I do believe that the quality of players, of course, it is a different caliber compared to the players that play in England, like in the Premier League, but they just need more international experience. Some of those players don't even have 5 caps to their name, so they're going to need more playing time. Let's see what is in the comments. I think we should play more friendly matches before Caribbean Cup and Gold Cup. That Tajay Campbell says we need Leon Bailey. Limited says, Romain Rowan says, need a player from Sutton United. I think you're referring to, or Deacon, Romari Deacon, I think you're referring to. Alric Trail, thanks for providing this live chat. Very interesting. You're welcome. Sure, no problem at all. You're welcome. All right. JLT says, we shouldn't take Curacao lightly. Hope they don't. Yeah, I agree, because Curaçao's top scorer in the Caribbean Cup qualifiers, Gina van Kessel, who was born in the Netherlands to Curacao parents and was experienced in playing in Europe, says that they're eyeing a top 2 spot. So they mean business. And Patrick Kluivert has left the post of PSG. Conspiracy theory. Will he come back for the Gold Cup as a technical director? Only time will tell. Anyways, Reggae Boys fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the results? Are you concerned by it? As I said before, I'm not concerned by the result. I believe that it was a well done for the Jamaica Football Federation to arrange this friendly match in order for us to prepare for the matches against Curacao. Sorry, not Curacao, French Guiana in the Caribbean Cup and the semi-finals and final, whoever it may be. So, thanks very much, Reggae Boys fans. Really, really appreciate the support. And Percy Don, I did read your comment as well, that the team needed depth and they're going to continue. I did read it already. I'm not sure if you heard me, but I did read it. And even if you rewind this video, you'd find that I read your comments. All right. Well, Reggae Boys fans, thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much. I'm very, very close to 1,200 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's right down there. Just hit the subscribe button, and beside the subscribe button, of course, you're going to see a little bell. Click it as well. Thanks for tuning in to this match review, and have a good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe, and stay tuned for more videos from Reggae Boys Commentary.